Hey, what's up, y'all? And it's time to do another preview and prediction video. And today I'm going to be doing the Oregon Ducks. Uh, and then of course last year it was year 2 under Dan Lanning. And yeah, yeah, it was a pretty good season. I mean, they fell just short of making it into the 4-team playoff. So it did go 11-1 in the regular season. Their only loss being to Washington, but they did take care of business in the rest of their games. You know, winning most of them in blowout fashion. Before, of course, losing to Washington again in the Pac-12 championship, and then just absolutely obliterating Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl. Yeah, to finish at 12-2. So anyway. And then, of course, you do lose your quarterback, Bo Nix, and yeah, he had a really good season. Yeah, finished as a Heisman finalist. So you did have 4,500 yards and 45 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. He had about 9.5 yards per attempt. Let's see, completed 77% of his passes. So, but of course, now he's gone. So, yeah, he is now a Denver Bronco. So, but anyway, so yeah, but you did bring in Dillon Gabriel from Oregon. Now, of course, last year Dillon Gabriel didn't have as good of numbers as Bo Nix, but still they were some solid numbers. We did have 3,600 yards. He completed about 69% of his passes. He had 30 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, about 9.5 yards per attempt. So about the same as Bo Nix, but anyway, so a downgrade at quarterback probably, but I mean, he's still he's still good. So anyway, and you also brought in Dante Moore from UCLA, but he's probably going to be the backup. And then you do lose Bucky Irving, your leading rusher, 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. He also had 400 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. So, but you do bring back Jordan James and Noah Whittington. So, but anyway, so yeah, Bucky Irving had 6.5 yards per carry. and then Jordan James was actually getting more yards per carry. He actually had 7.1 yards a carry, but though he wasn't getting as many carries as Irving. So also bringing back Noah Whittington, he also had about 7 yards a carry, albeit on only 20 carries. So, but anyway, so now your receivers, yeah, you do lose your top receiver, Troy Franklin, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. But you do bring back pretty much the rest of your receiving core, including Tez Johnson, Trayshawn Holden, and Gary Bryant Jr. And then you also brought in Evan Stewart through the transfer portal from Texas A&M. Yes, and then Tez Johnson also had about 1,100 yards last year, 12 touchdowns. So anyway, and you also do bring back your tight ends, Terrence Ferguson and Patrick Herbert. Anyway, so last year your offense did average 44 points a game and 530 yards per game. It was one of the best in the nation last year, and I believe that it will probably be again. So. But anyway, so now how about we talk about defense? Yeah, so anyway, so let's see. Yeah, you do lose your leading tackler or safety, Evan Williams, and you also lost a couple of other defensive backs, like Steve Stevenson. I think he ran out of his eligibility, and cornerback Tyree Johnson. Okay, anyway, no, it was Kyrie Jackson, I think. But anyway, you do bring back defensive back Tyheim Johnson, and then you also did get some a few defensive backs from the transfer portal, including safety Kobe Savage from Kansas State, and also cornerback Jabbar Muhammad from Washington, and Cam Alexander from UTSA. And so let's talk about linebackers. I think you're going to be set at linebacker. So you do bring back, so like your leading tackling linebacker, Jeffrey Besa. You'd also have Bryce Bocher and Justin Jacobs and Tuman Toyota. Um, but anyway, so yeah, linebackers looking good. Let's see now. Defensive line. Now you did lose 4 defensive tackles to the NFL, including Brandon Dorless, who went to the Falcons, and also Ta uh, Taki Taki Tamani, uh, Casey Rogers, and Popo Amave. But you do bring back Keon Ware Hudson, and you also brought in Derek Harmon from Michigan State, and Jamari Caldwell from Houston. So, but anyway, so last year your defense allowed 16.5 points per game and 318 yards per game, which was really good. Yeah, not really elite, but really good. It was the best in the Pac-12. So, but anyway, so yeah. Now, how about we go ahead and look at the schedule? So you do start out week 1. You get an easy game. Yes, an FCS team. Idaho, you should just absolutely obliterate them. And then next you do play Boise State. You know that Boise State is usually one of the better Group of 5 teams, but still a Group of 5 team, and you should still beat them. And then up next you do play at Oregon State. Yes, your little brother. Anyway, normally playing at the end of the season, but of course Oregon is now in the Big Ten, so they're no longer in the same conference, so they're not playing at the end of the year anymore. But I mean, that's better than not playing at all. So, but anyway, so yeah, Oregon State's head coach Jonathan Smith did leave to go to Michigan State, and they did lose pretty much all of their best players to the transfer portal. So yeah, you should beat Oregon State easily, and then that takes you into your first bye week, and then after that you play at UCLA, and then same thing with Oregon State. They've got a new coach, Chip Kelly. Left in the middle of the night to go be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. So they hired their running backs coach, and a lot of their players hit the portal. So no, they're not going to be very good this year. So I got you beating UCLA. And then up next, you do play Michigan State. I mean, they're just a dumpster fire. I mean, you should just totally demolish them. And then up next, now this is the big game. Yep, you do play Ohio State, and yeah, this is going to be a top 5 matchup. So yeah, one of the biggest games of the year. So but anyway, yeah, now if this was in Columbus, I would be picking Ohio State without hesitation, but since it's in Eugene, I'm gonna have to go with Oregon. So yes, I do have you beating Ohio State. And then who's next? Right next to you are at Purdue. This is on Friday night. But don't worry, this is not in the ACC. So the rule is I always pick the home team in these Thursday or Friday night games. But in the ACC, yeah, this is the Big Ten. So you're safe from that curse. But anyway, I mean Purdue is just awful, and you're just gonna steamroll them. And then next, you do play Illinois, and the same thing. I mean you're gonna curb stomp them. And then next you do play at Michigan. Now I do think Michigan is going to be taking a step back this year. Losing their coach, Jim Harbaugh, J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum. Yeah, they're going to be taking a step back this year after winning the national championship. So I already made my prediction for Michigan. So you know that I do have you beating Michigan. So, and then after that, you play Maryland. Of course, Maryland does lose Pineapple Jr. Yeah, Talia Tungavailoa. So, of course, Tua's little brother not there anymore. So, yeah, I think that doesn't matter. I think you would beat Maryland either way. So, they're just mid. So, anyway, and then after that, you do play at Wisconsin. Now, although I do think Wisconsin will be improved, year 2 under Luke Fickell, but I still think you get the win. Definitely but you want to be careful with this one. Could be dangerous, but maybe a trap game. But I still think you'll get the win. And then next you get your second bye week right before you play Washington. So this is your new rivalry week game. So, but anyway, so yeah, of course you are going to be looking for revenge after the 2 losses to Washington that kept you out of the playoffs. So, but anyway, I do think that you get the win. I mean, Washington, loses like half their team. So yeah, I think you end off with a win. So all right, so there you go. That means I have you going 12-0 and 9-0 in the Big Ten, which means playing in the Big Ten championship, probably a rematch against Ohio State. But yeah, that means that you're getting into the playoffs. So, but anyway, so but yeah, whether that's either a first round bye or a home game. So, but anyway, so that's it. Guess so let me know what you think in the comments below. Give me your prediction for Oregon. And thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again next time.